Okay, so here we go. It's kind of nice that they have it in all glass cases. Jerry put out this, he found this postcard, and it was with one of the schools before it had the addition on it. Oh my gosh, I remember the post, or the report cards. So, and you can have your picture taken on with the dunce cap. Sylvania School. We were looking for this one here, and we found it across the street. It's now a house, and look at all the schools that were out, because they had to be every 2 miles. So David Miller, who is in our group with us, and he's in with the Burlington Genealogy and the Union Grove History Seekers, he has done a wonderful job on this, and this would have been, a lot of it would have been March Martin too. And so I almost need it so that it grabs a little bit more light. Maybe I can zoom out. And so that the old class pictures, we used to do those every year. And they're having a reunion for the schools today and Saturday. Today and Saturday. So look at the old school bus. So, and of course you have where the schools were, and it's like in the Union Grove grade school, and how things have all changed. I don't know who these presidents or these people are coming across. So you always learn something new. But there's quite the display. Oops, sorry about that. And we have some books and some chalk is in there. And so old stuff is just kind of, it's interesting reading what's in the books, and I think this would probably be an attendance books or daily programs. So here you would have been scored. It's fun. Kansasville. So all Racine County, and that's what. Oh my gosh! I'll have to send that to Sandy James, and that would have been Paul James. Would have been Jimmy James's father. That's really going back there. And we have the old globes. If you've never had an old globe in a classroom, and of course they spin. So then we have the carving, and these were at the fair, and I remember this guy here. And what happened was, this woman here, she paid for the carving, and so this would have been the carving she paid for. And he got ash borer when the ash borer came through, and so that was the end of him. He fell down, and she's like, well, I paid for him, so I might as well take him. And as you can tell, on like this guy here, you can see the woodpecker holes. And then this is my booth, and we are Burlington Genealogy, and these are our meetings that we would have done going across up here. And then I pulled apart an abstract, and so that's what my whole booth is about this abstract, and how I think that it actually was Israel Williams, Captain Israel Williams from Williams Bay. And so then I have some toys, because we are giving them away, and we're collecting for your email address to be on our Burlington Genealogy newsletter, and then you get to put your name in one of the buckets. So in here was, I tried to stay organized, and that was really hard. So you just keep looking and searching, and it was up to the state of Wisconsin. It was up all over the place. So then next to me is the fair royalty, and so this is different than the 4-H, because the 4-H was the king and the queen of 4-H, and so this was the fairest of the fair. So I was at the library one day, and somebody was practicing to be fairest of the fair because she had to learn some history of the fair, so I was helping her out a little bit because, you know, I've already lived that. And so they did have a scavenger hunt in case you want to find the scavenger hunt. And then right here, what's the name of your favorite pig? So we took over here back in my booth. So there was a guy that donated this little pig, and you have to turn it on. Zach donated the little pig, so we're calling him Zach the Pig. And we need to just turn this on. And so Zach, a lot of kids have enjoyed your little, and of course Zach is right there. And he's leaving my house. Okay, then we're down towards the end, and we have the Racine County Farm Bureau. And these are all aerial photos of a lot of the local farms. And you can actually find these online, some of them. And what they did was they flew over with a plane, and then they would come down and they would try to sell these to the farmers so that the farmers had an aerial shot of their farm. And here's the Vivian farm. So they did a display with some different things that were on their 4-H type stuff and entering at the fair. See right there, they were Yorkville 4-H. So then we come around and we have Wayne's Daughters. So Wayne's Daughters has got a really nice, Mom, look at that plant. Oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine. And look at it, it's got a hook on the top. So could you imagine hanging that? You'd have to like have a new house in order to do that. So here's some more aerial farms. We actually have one for where the Tutul building is that my dad happened to get. But this is a little bit of history that we just like to preserve. Okay, so our new display this year is one of the families took and put it together. So this was one of the Martins, and then they were connected with the Isaacsons. And so on this side here of that family tree are the Martins, and then the Isaacsons that I knew were on the other side over here. So, and look at this is, so they found all, this information, and they actually found these farm auctions. One of them was found up north, but then look at in these little windows, aren't these cute? They have like pictures in there, and then last night they had them lit up. And so, but they did a marvelous job. So I don't know what family is going to be next year, but this is a big project for a family to take on. Okay, we need to quick sneak around here. And then we have the Daughters of the Revolution. And the sons did not show up. See, here's the sons. And so then the daughters just took over, and these are like all little groups, and so we are trying to like maintain our memberships and things like that, and to preserve history. So, and look at, they have a bunch of little hats that they knitted, and they're giving away the little fidgets. And then next we have Sons of Norway. Now Shirley did a great job. She went out, and of course there we have Shirley, who is my history-seeking friend. Shirley does a lot of work with me on preserving some history, and she's always up for doing some crazy stuff with me. But anyways, so Shirley went out to some of these little clubs like Preservation Racine, Sons of Norway, and things like that, and hounded them to get some information to be able to put out here. And she did a great job. So we have Preservation of Racine, and then the Burlington Library. Our little libraries are great places for history, and a lot of them do have like a genealogy building in the back or an area in the back. There is going to be a presentation on the 1840 school, and Jerry will be open at Oaks Clearing on September 15th. So if you've never been to Oaks Clearing, it's worthwhile going. And Oaks Clearing is on Highway 45, just south of A on the west side of the road. And that is from 1 to 4. And me and Shirley will probably be back in the little pink house. So, and then, of course, this is always a favorite book to have, and it is The Grassroots of Racine County. Shirley happened to find one of these books, so now I have one too. But you can look up some older people that were in Racine County, and they'll be in the book. Shirley's not in the book because she's young, spry. But then the Sons of Norway, they put together this beautiful book, and look at, here's the Norwegian knitting, and they have some other things that are in here. They have some right here. Here's the almond cake. And I'm like, this stuff was in the basement someplace. It's what a treasure to be able to have this on display. And here's somebody's genealogy, and this is what Shirley likes to do, is put everything in a book, and she does a great job. Is this yours?
It is mine.
It is hers.
The grandparents.
Okay. And she just does a great job. And so you don't have to do everything on the computer. But then we have some nice little dresses that are on display. What are they called?
Bunats.
Bunats. So now we know that. So if you're actually Norwegian, then that's what you would call them. I would call it a dress. Norwegians would call it a bunad. That way you would know who's the foreigners and who are actually...
They're very special dresses.
Oh, they're special dresses.
Yeah.
Were they like dancing dresses?
On weddings and special christenings, graduation. That is your formal fancy dresses with all applique all over them. Some are made of velvet. Some are run as high as $2,000 and more money. So, yes, these are little girls' ones, and they, of course, they outgrew them. But they're beautiful.
Yes, they are. Thanks. So now we're over to Jerry Kowalski, and so these are pictures of his place, and I could have taken a couple of these pictures because I've given pictures to Jerry's collection, and he is online with Oaks Clearing. But Jerry happened to come across, and he got a box of glass slides, and so he put them together all in a book, and he's talking about it. So he is selling the book out here, and he is doing a fair special price at $40. Jerry was on Pickers, so here he has And then Frank, they're doing on the 15th, remember this one here, they're doing a special thing for Frank because Frank was with us for many years and Frank helped Jerry reopen the museum, and so he agreed to do the blacksmithing for Jerry if he reopened, and so that's what he did. This is usually out by the Little Pink House, and I usually work in the Little Pink House with Shirley, and these are Indian trails. Well, I found these Indian trails in my book too, and the state of Wisconsin has them documented, and so when you get out to Burlington, we found, let's see here, so this would be Panyak, so that's Kansasville. This would be Burlington, so it actually is out here, and I found a burial ground. It was cool, out by the Hillcrest. Okay, so then Mario, he was out, Jerry brought this out to the Teachers College, and so Mario was talking about it. So I'm like, what a great time. I'm taking a picture, or no, I'm doing a video. So I did a video of him, and so that is playing out here. And you know, we forget sometimes that we can actually do videos, and that preserves things, and then of course then you can put it up on YouTube and you can share it with a few other people. So I'm thinking that this grand champion must go to our big building. I'm sure that that's what it's for. Well, you know, I know it's not. But here's some more 4-H items. And I need somebody tall to plug because, you know, there's just something about the Culligan. And I think the Culligan water thing was on the other side whenever it was back in the 70s. My mom would remember. And then I remember them redoing the grandstand because they had issues, and it's like, I think they had somebody fall. And Rice's Kitchen, and they do like tacos and things like that now. So, and here we have some more fare. I wonder if they have, Alan Gill should be in here someplace. He might be. He was with 4-H. Here's Don Tudman. Okay, so Tudman was the one that he actually donated a bunch of stuff to Jerry's place, and that's why the tool building is called Tudman Nichols, because of Mary Nichols. She worked out there for years, and Tudman would be the other person. I could just walk by and not talk, but I know you really want me to talk. So this is what I did in my booth this year, was with all the strings. And so you can see what actually was in the different area. Plat maps, old plat maps were really cool. I did a video with Mary Nichols on like downtown Union Grove, and so I have to put it together. It's one of those things. So, and here's Old Settlers Park, and that's the fairgrounds. In Rochester School, we did that last year, and that would have been the Ag School. History is just fun, and there's a group of us that just really enjoy it. So then they had this big rock, and it was out in the front. And Marge goes, I need to move that rock. She goes, but you need a piece of equipment that's big enough to do. And I'm like, oh no, you wait till the ground freezes and then you can just like pull it. And I think that's what they did. So, and here's the first Ag Society president, and Harvey Nelson. It's written right on there. Marge did a great job displaying everything and putting it together. So as we look outside, let's take a quick look and see what we have. So here's the big rock, and so that used to be a 4-H building. That one was, and then that one was a open class. And then this one over here used to always be like farm stuff, and I think this was open class with the farm. And then this one here would have been the merchandising, and of course then we have bingo over there, and we do have the dog races are going to be there. But this was kind of sad this year that I didn't see the first food stand being open. And so I don't know why I must be having issue with lighting, that I'm a little dark. Then we have the Yorkville food stand. Well, actually it's the Farm Bureau and then the Yorkville. And there we are going down the main aisle, and we're back to renewed. Yep, we put it together. So that's the end of that. So I hope you enjoy my video, and we'll be out searching for some other stuff. Okay, you have a nice day.